All right, what's going on, Avengers? I'm here with two of my good friends, Doomkiller HD and Carlos. These guys, I met them through playing Marvel's Avengers, and they're like Marvel fanatics, and I'm just happy I met them. So I'm gonna do something a little different today. We're just kind of getting together, talking about the recent update with Hawkeye, Future, and Perfect. We're gonna go into the roadmap, maybe hit some of that dev stream that happened on Friday or yesterday or whatever. But anyways, guys, if you guys want to introduce yourselves, go ahead. Floor is all y'all's. Do.
What's shaking, people? It's your boy Doomkiller HD, and I'm here with my homeboy Mike and Initiative. You can find me on YouTube. Just search my name, Doomkiller HD. You'll find all of the tips and tricks that you need. I'm the guy.
Hi, I'm Carlos. I do have a YouTube channel called The Initiative. I don't post very regularly, but I love the Avengers game. I'm a huge comics nerd, and I'm always in the comment sections arguing with people and stuff, just like talking about the game, talking about stuff I like. I think I'm a rather positive guy, so I guess that's all I need to know.
Hell yeah, that's what we need too. That's what we need.
Yes,
Positivity,
sir.
yet critical thinking. You know what I mean? I think we all want this game to be as successful as it could be and the best version of the Avengers, by still maintaining, Crystal Dynamics' overall thought and creative ability of what they have. So let's just go over Hawkeye, guys, real quick. Actually, let's like just kind of go over the entirety of like March 18th. Talk about Hawkeye, the character himself, the story. I know you made a review video, Doom, which I literally agreed with everything that you said too. I think except for the biome, but we'll get into that here in a second.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so Hawkeye for me, guys, I got him to 50. He was 70, I think, gear score, So I haven't really specifically got into the gear exactly what does what. I need to like get the perks unlocked. I'm just on the grind right now. But overall, Hawkeye himself packs a little bit more punch than Kate. And it was expected actually, but it like came out better than what I thought. Ultimately, I do feel some jank in him, like his boomerang arrow. I feel like it's hard to
Mm-hmm.
time, or I'm not understanding exactly what the move does. His also, I'm having trouble timing his counter. It's one of those things that I'm like, do I do it when they hit, or do I need to activate it before he hits? Like, stuff like that. His swinging, I like. His traversal is good. The running thing kind of sucks or whatever, but you're jumping and jumping and jumping,
Yeah.
But he's got a lot of AoE, and for me, I like AoE because I'm a Hulk player, mainly, and so I like that AoE. His combos feel fresh. The way they implemented his arrows into his combos, that feels really good. There's some like hidden techniques that I haven't really like understood fully, where you can like aim and then you could just tap over and he like locks on the enemy,
I
and it
love
lasts
that
for like,
ability. I
yeah,
love
dude, and it like lasts for 10 seconds or whatever. But I also have heard
Yeah.
that like players have been having issues with him. I'm not really sure. Have y'all heard about that? Anything?
Let me go ahead and talk about the issues that I personally
Yeah.
experienced with Hawkeye. First, though, let me see. That's probably gonna be my main character right at this point. He was
Word.
beautifully constructed, dude. They constructed the hell out of this guy, man. I don't know if y'all play with him, a lot. 'Cause I'm maxed him out already. I've got like
Okay.
four exotics for him. He's 150. He's got a build that that's why I waited to do my review because I wanted to give people an actual review of a real, you know, levels 1 to 25. I thought Hawkeye was crap. I was like, this character is horrible. Like Kate is way better. But once you get to unlocking his signatures and the different aspects to his heroics, because his heroics, bro, like man, you know. But let's talk about what the issues I had. His grapple arrow, the traversal one, not the intrinsic one.
Okay.
It's weird, bro. Like sometimes, like I go grapple the cliff, and I'm falling off the cliff without even, I just grappled and went to move forward. I can't even move forward because I fall, and that's a glitch on their era.
Yeah. Do you get stuck in that jump like on the
Yeah,
corner? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That happens also. um, his not intrinsic, but his support heroic, the healing one, it misfires sometimes after you use his super heroic, the hunter's arrow, the hunter's bow, or whatever it's called, the super heroic, the 2-button one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had like quarter health and I'm, going hamburger. I use my super and then I go to heal myself and he shoots the arrow, but it nothing happens. And I'm just like, what the hell?
Okay.
Um his assault heroic. I don't know. I've only used the fire tornado in actual battle, like in the actual playing the game. I've used the other ones in a harm room. But when you're using a fire tornado, sometimes it misfires as well. Like it won't do anything. Only when you jump though. Like I don't like to use it from the ground because it's hard to aim. But when you jump in the air and use it, there's like you can aim it perfectly, pretty much, and I'll fire it and nothing happens. So those are my main gripes with him. Aside from that, I mean, at least I can step on pressure plates.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah, baby! It's the
Yeah.
small things, man.
That's funny that you mentioned. Okay, so a lot of those problems I haven't had, um,
Nice.
but the assault heroic one, I will say I have been like in a hive, and I try to like fire it, and it doesn't like actually land anywhere. And I think it
Right.
happens. I think it happens when you're like in a building, like under like an arch or something. Sometimes, like I've noticed that. I think I've noticed that a couple times.
Maybe
So
when there's a ceiling over your head, maybe that's why it's landing on the floor above you or something like that.
maybe that because that has
Huh.
happened to me, but I just kind of like right now I'm picking up heroic orbs so quickly that like like if it just fires, I'll just like recharge it and like have it again and be okay the next one. Um,
Right, right.
but I have noticed that actually. For me, I'm really enjoying Hawkeye. I haven't maxed him out to 150 yet. I'm trying to get there. I think I'm at like 80 right now. Um,
Ooh.
but yeah, at first I felt like he was very like melee geared for some reason. Like it felt like the game was aiming me, like making me go melee.
Hmm.
And to be honest, I didn't hate it. Like I played melee with him, and I was like, he's pretty good at this. Like I like his melee attacks; they're pretty solid. But I've started to make the transition to precision to like ranged,
Yeah.
and it's feeling like just way better because that bag of tricks move, man. Bag of tricks.
That's
That has
I
to be
consider the bag of. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead. I'm
it's
so
cool.
sorry, bro.
No, I mean I was just gonna say that move is so OP, bro.
I consider the bag of tricks a fourth heroic specialty for him, dude. Like, cause I've literally played a whole hive and forgot to use my supers because the damn bag of tricks is just murking everything, dude.
Nice.
Everything, dude.
Yeah.
Cause, dude, I've got 3 status effects on just that kit by itself. My
Yeah.
pulsar arrow does cosmic. My split shot arrow does cosmic, and then the split wires or whatever the bunch of arrows that fire, they do pim particle damage. So I'm like just and also on top of my the cosmic on the split wire, it also has inherent electricity, so it's got shock damage and cosmic damage on it. So that's the battery effect by itself, dude. Like
Yeah.
the split,
You don't need
like
other
that dude is
players.
OP, bro. My only gripe with him is stopping power. If you don't charge
I know what you mean.
that split wire and you've got an adaptoid running at you, you're gonna get smashed. There's nothing you can do about it, and that's my only gripe with him. He doesn't have stopping power. Like Kate's uh the what is that the her arrow where you can shoot like 5 of them. I can't remember what it's called right now,
Right.
but
Yeah, I got you.
that has stopping power on it. That's gonna make an adaptoid stumble a little bit when he's coming at you. If your tripwire arrows aren't fully charged with Clint, you're getting rolled over, boss.
You know what I've noticed? Okay, so I've kind of like I'm getting the hang more and more of Hawkeye like every time I use him, as with like every character.
Right.
But when I started with Hawkeye, to be honest, I was like, like I know he's Hawkeye, but I kind of liked Kate's arrow types better, like her explosive arrow and stuff. I thought her other two were better, but now that I'm kind of getting more up there with Hawkeye, like I started to gain an appreciation for the pulsar arrow type. Um, oh, you like it too?
Man, I got the double explosion on mine.
Oh,
Oh my
nice.
god, dude! Like, okay, you fire like six of them things into one of the crabs and just wait 2 seconds, then explode them. That crab is
Yeah,
done.
it's
Yeah, yeah.
I,
Those
yeah.
arrows have some packing punch.
I like
That's
the
about that's the only ones though. But yeah.
no, yes, I
His
like the
tripwire arrow. I'm sorry, but let me rebut Mike
yeah.
real quick. Mike, his tripwire arrows are OP, bro. They're
Really?
OP,
Those are the
dude. You
electric
can
ones,
literally,
right?
yeah.
To
I
confirm.
have a
Okay.
perk. I have a perk that allows me to charge them up 20% faster. So it's not a
Oh,
whole. I'm not holding it at all, really. It's
yeah.
like soon as I grab my trigger, it's fully charged. And dude,
Okay.
that thing clears rooms by itself. Like one
Awesome.
tripwire arrow can. Like I was playing the harm room and I had like 20 of those little bots coming at me. One tripwire arrow, every one of them was on their
Oh,
ass, dude.
okay.
Every one of them.
Okay.
Those
Okay.
things
See,
are
that's
OP, bro.
see like one thing about this game too is that like you mentioned his melee earlier, Carlos, and to me, like I made a Kate melee build. Like that was my first build, you know what I mean?
I
And like
remember.
whenever I
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. And so like when I got on Hawkeye, I was really impressed with his melee. His like energy wave that he does at the end of his combos, like the little
Yeah.
stylish flip it and then finish the combo off. He like flips it, he catches it, and then he's ding. It's very badass. You know what I mean? So I was impressed with that, and like, and I want to trust. I do trust Doom. And I gotta like not forget that how characters go is that once you're done with 50, the gear is like the next step in the
Yeah.
evolutionary of the character, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, Doom, like I totally like I kind of forget that, like, oh yeah, this man has the experience. And I'm all
Yeah.
about the experience, baby. You know what I mean? So and because I haven't really been like looking into the gear, like I'm just basically judging his like base form and I'm liking it. There's a lot he's got variety. You know what I'm saying? Like hearing what you're saying, Doom, you got all these different status effects, like, ooh,
Yeah.
baby,
On one
you
set,
know?
dude. It's
Yeah. So,
crazy, dude.
real quick, speaking of status effects, I just want to mention, so, Carlos, you sent me an article from Forbes magazine saying that the player base has went up 5 times. I mean, but 5 times from 10 isn't that much in general, but you guys are tracking on what I'm saying. I just visited the Steam charts and they got 1,000 people playing about right now, give or take. You know what I mean? And I had this buddy, he's like not an Avengers fan, likes comics though and superheroes. But he was like, yo, man, how should I kind of start this game or whatever? Like, should I have one character? Should I have two characters? Should I spread it out or whatever? And I was like, maybe have one, have a secondary to like have fun with if you get bored with the first one or whatever. Like, gave him the basics. And I was like, hey, combat tips, my friend. Don't forget that it has that Anthem concept where you prime them with a status and then you affect them with another status. And I sent him the whole picture of the status effects and stuff like that. And he was like, oh, really? Because I have a bunch of friends who aren't superhero, but they're gamers still. And they really liked Anthem. And I was like, yes. And he was like, dude, so this game does have some depth. And, just kind of adding on to that, like, after 50, you still got the gear to kind of like bustle through and figure out, you know what I mean? And I know they're still trying to fix that, but I do still feel that there is some type of enjoyment you can get for an extended amount of time, you know what I mean? And so Hawkeye is just one of those characters that I'm sure has a slew of varieties that could go through.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of different styles of builds. I watch YouTube videos. I like, I don't think I know everything, so I want to learn as well to help
Oh yeah,
myself,
hell
as
yeah.
well. and it helps my videos. Oh, I didn't know this. This works like this. Okay, I can implement that. I've seen a his bag of tricks build where the guy had 300 range and like 400 valor, and he melted Abomination in 10 seconds by himself, dude. Like the status effect, and it was all statics. He used the Tactagon with Pim particles and shock, and dude, 10 seconds by himself, bro. I was amazed, dude. The things you can do with Hawkeye, you can't do with any other character. Like you were
Yes.
talking about his wave at the end of his combo that
Yeah.
is for PlayStation players. It's square 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 triangle. That move is so OP, dude. I was spinning the super adaptoid in it, dude. That's how strong that move is.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, dude. Like the super adaptoid wasn't even. He couldn't even do anything. So I'm like, dude, this dude Clint. If they can make Black Panther and Spider Man the way they made Clint and Kate, this game is going through the roof, my guy. Through the
Yeah.
roof.
Yeah.
Through the roof,
Yeah.
bro. Like, cause I mean, when you got to Kate, I was a Kate main. You know, you watched a lot of my videos, bro.
Yep.
You play with
Yep.
me all the time, so I'm a Kate main, bro. Like when I got to her, I was like, okay, at that point, Black Widow's combat was the best to me. I was like, it's straight Chun-Li from Street Fighter with batons in her hand. You know what I mean? And it's awesome. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. But Kate, with the teleporting, the difference, how her superheroic actually changes her. Like a lot of superheroics you do something with. Her superheroic actually changes her playstyle. Her arrows aren't the same. Her swinging style isn't the same. She's Getsuga, Chinso's like Bleach all day. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
And I'm
yeah.
like, dude, when they implemented that style of play, I'm like, this game is they're really doing it. So when I get Clint and you actually are able to pass level 50, get to level 130 with your gear, and you're getting gear that gives you know 15 arrows on a split shot, dude. And that's one of his most powerful moves, and they're giving you more arrows.
Right.
There's no roof, bro. There's no ceilings at this point, man. It's awesome sauce, brother.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that you brought that up about like there's no roof and like the variety between the characters because I mean you're right. It feels like every character has like it's like their own unique way of playing. And I know we've been saying this since launch, but like I'm still amazed by it because Thor with his hammer feels like completely unique to all the other characters.
Nothing
And
like it. Yeah.
and with Hawkeye, one of the things like I immediately noticed was like how often we're using R2 in the combos. That's like I don't think any of the other characters operate that way. How you're like hold R2 and press square for the boomerang arrow. I'm like that's like a whole new button input that like no other character has.
Right,
Um,
right,
Like a
right, right.
hotkey. Yeah.
and so stuff like that, I'm like, ah man, they really like have so much freedom in how they create these builds for these characters. And that's really exciting. And I know that you mentioned Spider-Man, and I know that you mentioned earlier that you didn't like swinging as Clint, but when I was swinging as Clint like 2 nights ago, I was like, man, I can't wait to swing as Spider-Man.
No, no, not the swinging. His swinging is cool. It's when he grapples like to
The
get to,
zip
to an
line.
elevated area. Like
Oh, okay.
I'm literally falling off of cliffs all the time. And I
Or
was
it
on
won't
Reddit earlier.
connect.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was on Reddit earlier and somebody had posted a video of him doing it. So I was just like, I thought I'd mention that as well because I'm not the only one having that problem.
Right on.
But no, I love his swinging. His swinging is cool. I'm swinging all through the Eastern Seaboard area, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot of people mentioning like, "Oh, that's Spider-Man." Dude, that's what I said too. I was like, those legs, the way they swing back, I'm like, "Hey, that has some Spider-Man vibes to it." But all right, guys. So one last thing on Hawkeye, I want to ask you, and then we'll kind of move on, just for time or whatever. So for me, one last thing that I got on Hawkeye is that whenever I finally had my hands on him, I don't know what it is, but it feels like the team itself, the Avengers team, I don't know, it seems a little bit more full. That cup is a little bit more like, it's hard to explain. I don't know what feeling it is, but it just seems like the roster is full. Fuller. Not complete, not like, but it seems more like, all right, this is like an Avengers squad right here. We got Hawkeye kind of nails it into like, you got everybody from Kamala to Hawkeye to Kate Bishop to, you know, Black Widow and Thor and Hulk. Like, all right, so you got some variety. Two archers, you know, like, do y'all feel like he adds to the sauce, or was he, because he was supposed to be a Kate clone, does he add to the sauce in like, you know, a good, fresh way and like, you know, completes the Avengers? All right, yeah, I think so too. Y'all got a take on that?
Sure. Dude, I'm gonna just say this much, and it's so funny that you say that he makes it feel like a full team. What it is, at least in my perspective, is that no matter how, you know, like if you're playing with a team, like I always play with a team. So sometimes I'm like stuck with somebody I actually don't want to play with. I can play with them. They're leveled up. I'm good with them, but that's not who I want to play with right now. No matter who anybody else in this group picks, there's somebody I want to play with on the team. You know what I mean? Like I'm not stuck with. No offense to any Kamala lovers, she's just
Right.
my least favorite Avenger in the game. I don't want to be stuck with her. I can okay. My homeboy has Iron Man. You like to play with Iron Man, Mike? You have Iron Man. Say Initiative has Captain America, and somebody else has Thor. I still have either Kate, Hawkeye, or you
Yeah.
know whoever to pick now. You know what I mean? I'm not stuck
And
with like,
still
oh, I
have
got to play
fun.
with Hulk. Oh, I got to play with Kamala. No, I'm good. I can play with
Yeah,
somebody who I actually want to play with. And that eighth person on the team just really opens it up for me, at least, man. That makes
for
me
sure.
actually super happy.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, yeah, I think not only does it give you more freedom of like who to choose from, but I think it also, you know, as we add more characters, I think it's it adds an element of excitement when you're matchmaking. Like, who's gonna be on this team? Like, is this gonna be like Kate and Clint and Widow and like Hulk, or it's like there's more variety in the pairs in the groups, you know?
Right,
And I like that.
right.
I think Mike knows I'm like kind of like I like things to match and stuff like that. And so in my head, I'm always thinking like, it would be so cool to team up with like all the ranged characters and just like kill everyone.
Oh,
Just
Right?
well,
Just
you
everybody sit back. That'd be cool,
dude, I've
man.
been doing drop zones with just the human Avengers like Cap, um, you know, Kate, Clint, and Natasha. So like it's like a whole stealth team, and I got them all in black. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's like the Shield Squad or something. You get them
Yeah,
all in their
exactly.
like commando suits. Oh, dude, that'd be so clean.
yeah,
I
All right,
exactly.
literally do that,
and I think a
dude.
lot of that character fun variety stuff like has a lot to do with the combat team. Vince Napoli. I mean, if you guys played God of War, you will like if you ever played God of War, man, you would really see how especially Captain America is like toe to toe with Kratos. Like
Yes.
they slam the shield down,
Oh,
it's a wave. Kratos has a small shield throw, but it's not like that. But he throws his axe like Thor does, and you don't start with a dodge attack. Like you got to unlock that ability. You don't
the
start with a
earning, yeah.
sprint attack. You got to unlock that ability in God of War. And whenever God of War came out, it was one of those things like, bro, this matches Devil May Cry's combat, and that's revered. Combat in that game's revered. You know what I mean? And
Right.
God of War is one of those games where you want to pick it up because the combat feels so chunky and like fast at the same time
Oh,
and powerful. So I think that,
nice.
that's where those characters come from, that Vince Napoli type of, you know what I'm saying, mindset.
Yeah, you can feel the God of War DNA in this game.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
And that's
if you've played both games, you can like feel the similarities in a good way. you know.
Yes, and I feel like that says something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
All right, guys, let's move on real quick. Let's
Yeah.
go on to Future Imperfect story, length of the DLC, that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? That review, lore stuff. You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think about it? I'll end it up. I'll end it up. So go ahead, Doom. I know you got some thoughts.
Where is the rest of it? Like
Yes, fuck yeah. Okay.
I mean, literally, dude. I played it and I was expecting, 3, 4 hours like Kate. Kate's story was
Yeah.
meaty. It was meaty, man. And this one was like, oh, oh, hey, there's Maestro. What are you doing here? Why are you here? Oh, okay, let me kill you. I'm gonna let two archers hurt you real quick when you just destroyed all of the Avengers, but two archers beat you. Cool. Okay, that's awesome. But aside from that, I actually enjoyed it. It was cool. I liked fighting Maestro while I was so weak because it made him a challenge. Because once you level up, man, those bosses they become marshmallows, man. But fighting him at like level 25 with no status effects and little gear and not all of my combos unlocked, and it was a challenge, but it was an enjoyable challenge. I'll say that much. But where's the rest of it?
Uh,
Villain sectors. What do you think,
Can I?
Carlos? Or
Yeah.
do you got more,
Go
Doom?
ahead.
Go ahead, brother.
No, no,
Spill
no.
it.
Let
Spill
Carlos
it.
talk. Nah, let Carlos talk,
all
please.
right. Just to talk story for like a sec. I'm a big story guy, really big fan of the story that the devs have crafted and how they've adapted the comics. I bring this up whenever I talk about this game because it's like one of my favorite things about it is I feel the respect for the source material, and as a big comics nerd, that means a lot to me. Um,
Cool.
um, but let's talk story. And I kind of agree with Doom that it was shorter than Kate's. And I feel like Kate's had that ending that was just like, oh, that ending gets me so excited where it's like a big reveal, Kree invasion, and then Clint passes out, cliffhanger, and you're like, whoa. And I don't think Hawkeye's Future Imperfect expansion had that like excitement for the future thing at the end. But I did really like how it started because I remember like booting it up, and it starts with Kate and well, I mean maybe it was just Kate for me because she was the last character I used. I don't know, but it was just like you start on the helicarrier next to Bruce Banner, and there's like a tachyon storm happening in front of you, and there's like that mysterious like shady ship, and you're like, wait, when are we? Like that was
Yeah.
like a solid beginning to it. Like it set a tone that I liked, and I was like, "Oh, are we like at the Kree invasion right now? I don't know. I don't know." And then all of a sudden, and then I feel like I accidentally started the story because I didn't even check my objectives. I was just like, first thing I'm gonna do is check on Clint in his room. So
Yeah.
I, I just went to Clint's room just to go, and next thing I know, like he has like this flash, and I'm in the future, and I was like, okay. I didn't
Nah,
mean to
that's
spoil it
exactly how
for
it
you, but
happens, man.
yeah. So I did like how the beginning was crafted. I do like the wasteland biome and everything. But I agree, it was short and it didn't like particularly. I don't feel like it led up to Black Panther. I was kind of hoping that at the end it would be like, and now we have to go to Wakanda or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Um, but on the bright side, it showed us the cosmic cube, and that made me excited. So that's like a little thing though. But
Yeah,
okay.
I'm curious to see where that leads into and what, because it's like, oh, you've never been on the storm? They're frozen in time. Like, oh, really? But then it cut off. With you guys. Like, very short. It felt the thing where I noticed that it was too short besides the time played, but right at the end there, it was so confusing to me because they were kind of bickering back and forth. Like old Hawkeye was like, nah, kid, like, I made a lot of mistakes. And Hawkeye's like, whatever. Like, and then old man Hawkeye says something, and then instantly Clint's like, okay, I promise I'll stop this for you. And I was like, whoa, what? Like, so you just got over it like that or whatever. That seemed off to me because earlier there was good back and forth and good, like that, like, oh man, you like, you don't know exactly what happens, but you kind of get, you can put together the pieces from old man's like dialogue and shit like that, and so like the story had me, the whole Hulk thing, and like there. So WB Harry, you guys probably know him, World Breaker Harry. Yeah, he was like, yeah, man, I don't like how they didn't mention more about the death of the Avengers. And I'm like, dude, that's a good point. Like, you would almost figure that would be like a story point where it's like, this is how they died. Or are we just going off like, oh, Hulk, you killed him? Like,
See,
was
I
there
don't
a
even
power
think Hulk
struggle?
killed him. I don't even think. I mean, from what I looked at,
They
it
just
doesn't
died.
seem like
Kree.
he. Yeah, like they died in the invasion. I mean, if you didn't listen to the dev stream and the video they put out saying that he was poisoned by the gamma, extra gamma from the pollution or whatnot, and went crazy, you wouldn't have known that from what we saw inside the
Oh,
actual DLC. So for me, not
right.
just literally Xing that out, Hulk's innocent, bro. He didn't kill him. I don't know who
Yeah,
killed him.
right. Yeah. So there was a lot of like kind of some stuff where they probably could have even threw it away with a one-liner like, oh man, they like fought their hardest but they eventually fell to the Kree or whatever. I don't know, you know what I mean? But yeah, very short though. I guess the highlight would be most definitely Hawkeye, and I think whatever how they did that biome, I love the structures, I love the things, I love the openness and how you go through and come out, and it's
Have you found
different.
any
You
of the
got different.
caves yet?
Yeah, exactly, like caves. And that's where I got that idea, Carlos, I was telling you about patrol mode, where it's like knock down 5 little secret things and then a cave, like, or that gas station opens up, whatever, you know what I mean? So yeah, so overall out of 5, I would say I would give Hawkeye's DLC like a 2.7. You know what I'm saying? Like above
Damn, it was halfway
average.
good.
Yeah, it's above average because, like, the Hawkeye character and the biome, if those are the highlights, like, and I guess the main thing would be, like, the story, So I guess I would critique the story a little bit harder than I would on the character and the wasteland. I don't know if I broke it down like that. It's like almost a 3, like a 2.8, like, 2.7 to 3. I liked it overall. You know what I'm saying? But I think, though, one of their main focuses, and this is why Doom, like, what surprises me, kind of what you said, like, where's the rest? Some of me, and you even gave me this fucking idea, where you're like, maybe they're holding back content, my friend. So it was like, maybe more of the focus was on the next gen, was on the, I don't want to say custom harm rooms, but like that next gen and all that kind of stuff that has to do with it. And Hawkeye was more of that refresher thing. Because if Hawkeye would have came out before then, that PS5, Xbox Series X update wouldn't have really been like, oh yeah, you get the update and custom harm rooms. Like, whoa, that's cool, I guess. You know what I mean? So they probably did hold Hawkeye back, sent him with there, and that's where, like, they probably either decided they needed to, like, take Monica out and,
Yeah,
like, stretch it out a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I think too. Or
yeah.
they only had a portion of it done, and to please fans, they wanted to, let's get what we have done out. We have at least until Hulk out with all this other stuff, and then we can finish Monica in the background and then push that maybe or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly, but
I'm gonna say that I agree with you 100% up until the point where you said they're not done yet, because I'm gonna always argue that everything through Black Panther is already done, dude. It's been done, dude.
really,
Been done.
really,
Yeah. Okay. September. There's already people playing cloning labs, so that's done. They're ironing out
okay,
bugs. No,
okay,
they're not ironing out bugs. They know that the PS4 and the Xbox can't handle that. They know that the
okay.
PS5 and the X Series X can, but they gotta make sure there's enough people playing those consoles to go ahead and let it out, dude. That's all that is. That's marketing at its fucking finest. Excuse my French.
No, you're good. That is interesting, Doom, because, I'm not as savvy, in that realm when it comes to this, but because one of the things, and I mean, I guess it's a good segue to kind of go into the roadmap, guys, if you're kind of prepared to talk about that. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go. Let's go.
So the roadmap, like, because it's funny that you said they have everything up to Black Panther done. Whenever I looked at the roadmap, and at first I was like, this is kind of a stupid question to ask because I feel like it'll just kind of lead into, it doesn't matter. You're not going to get the answer anyway. Who gives a shit? But it's one of those things where it's like a lot of the roadmap looks like they were fan ideas, or that's why I question if they were done or not, because maybe they didn't have the content and that's how bad it was. And they were like, you know what? Some of these ideas are pretty fucking good and we can fill this in until like Black Panther and we can like stretch that out. Something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but there's a lot of things that tell me that like, are y'all ready? Are y'all not ready? Go ahead, Carlos. Go ahead, Carlos. I like the hand too, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think I mean, given what they just did with patrol mode, where they were like, hey, we're on Reddit, like, feel free to throw in suggestions for patrol mode. I think that, like, basically confirms that they're still working on it, So I don't
What I
think.
mean by they're not done is, I mean, what they're done as far as content concerned, as cloning labs, secret labs, Black
Okay.
Panther and Wakanda. That's what I mean and when I say they're all done. Those little new things like the red room, and that's literally aesthetics to the horn room, bro. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's aesthetics. It's not
Exactly.
that you can change that on the go. You can get suggestions all day on aesthetics. I'm talking about what's actually done as far as gameplay, as far as missions, those priority, not priority, but those omega level threats,
Yeah.
those have
Got
been
you.
done already too. As there's footage of cloning labs, there's already
Yeah. I've
footage
watched it.
of secret labs. They were going to show us footage of Black Panther on
Yeah.
release day, bro. But
Yeah.
because what happened with Chadwick Boseman, they had. I mean, I did a whole video on it. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
shit is done, bro. And like the little aesthetic things like patrol modes. Okay, dude, that patrol mode is so simple. The wastelands have been done since Hawkeye's been done, obviously, because Hawkeye was supposed to come out in December, bro. So three months ago, that's the wastelands has been done. Adding patrol mode to wasteland is just like adding patrol mode to the eastern seaboard area, bro. All you got to
Yeah.
do is take away, say you're doing the villain sector, take away the actual objectives and just let it
Right.
be free roam. That's all
Right.
you have. That's typing in some
And
numbers,
constantly
bro.
load shit in and out. Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
that's
it's
that's
just like
typing in
a
some numbers, bro. DCU does that all the time. So
yeah, that's that grind. So basically what he's saying, Carlos, is like they have the resources for these things, but like putting it in the game is completely different. I do believe though, like you were saying, tachyon anomalies and the stuff that you said that they were working on and like patrol mode, yeah, like they were working on it or whatever. Like I do feel like they are not done with that, but that's why I asked that question was like why are they needing these ideas from players? Because it makes me wonder, and this is where it gets like, oh, it could go any direction. You know what I mean? Like, why do they need like the patrol room thread or whatever? And I'm just playing devil's advocate. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you need fans shit like ideas? Why do you need fans? Go ahead, Carlos.
Well, I mean, I think one reason might be because I think, given the history of this game, I feel like they come out just like, let's talk about like the day they announced the game and like revealed it for the first time. They came out and they were like feeling confident about what they were going for, and they just received so much like negative feedback, you
Yeah.
know? And I feel like, I think a lot of the, trying to like talk to the fans more is just so that they can at least put themselves on level playing fields with them and kind of
Okay.
be like, hey guys, like we're thinking of doing this thing, and just so you guys don't yell at us later, like what is something you would like to see?
Okay.
Like
I feel you.
I don't know.
can I speak on that real quick before we
Yeah,
change
go ahead,
subjects?
dude.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, and sorry to sound like a know-it-all again, but fam, it's simple why they are asking for our feedback. For one, like I said, they don't have enough PS next gen players right now
Oh,
to put all of those things that they have done already, like the cloning lab, the secret lab, stuff like that. So the stuff that they can do, that's more aesthetic-y stuff again. You know what I'm saying? You're just changing the mode types in the games. That you don't have to add anything to do that. You're taking stuff out really, or you're
right,
changing the color, or you know what
right.
I mean. So okay, yeah, you think it's cool to free roam? Okay, we can give you free roam. Our wastelands is big enough for that. That's not. We don't have to change anything. We don't have to add anything to the wastelands for you to free roam. You see what I'm saying? For stuff like the cloning labs and stuff like that where they actually have it, they're saying that the connections that the PS4 connections and the Xbox connections weren't connecting right. We'll just say that. Like they
Right.
were faulty. So you got four people trying to do a puzzle, and one of the people times out. Now you got three people, and you can't have an AI in the cloning lab because you need for the puzzles you need actual people to do certain things. You know what I'm saying? So while they can't implement that, shit. Well, let's see what the hell they want. Or they don't really want much of anything. They just want to be able to free roam the wastelands. Okay, cool. Give them. They want to play 4 Iron Mans on one map. Shit, we
Oh, I
can
see
do
what you're
that.
saying.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's not.
Yeah.
We don't have to take anything out, or I mean, we don't have to add anything in to do those things that they're asking for. So hell yeah, give me all of the suggestions you got to help our
Okay, that
game
makes
that
sense.
we can't provide the actual things that we
Okay.
want to you. So we'll give you what you want, and you thinking that is something that's that it really isn't. I'm happy for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating,
Right, I'm happy
but
for it.
that's the
Yes, exactly.
reason why
Makes sense.
they're asking for our help because they can't implement the things that they want to, so they're going to implement the things that they can.
And I think you make a good point, Doom, because either way you look at it, like any more content is good for the game. Like, let's be real. The
Exactly.
one big problem with this game is no end game, true end game content where it's like I'm yearning to get on with my buddy Doom and Initiative to grind out. Let's hope we get some exotics tonight, boys. Together. No, it's like let's run that one tachyon mission over and over for that. Like, no, you need that end game content, you know? But and then at the same time, I think that does say now I want to be 50-50 on this because I feel like I've been tricked a little bit in some regards, but then there's other things where I'm just like, you know what? The devs are pretty transparent. Maybe not as transparent. Hear me out, Doom. You know, because today the dev stream they dropped that a little bit of meat. It was only a 30-minute dev stream, but they dropped a little bit of meat. Not everything that you're gonna want, but I guess what I'm saying is that they're transparent as much as they could be, minus a little bit. But I do feel like I have heard this before is that the people at Bungie or Destiny or whatever didn't listen to fans for like 6 fucking years. And I've seen it in the Reddit thread, people kind of, like, oh, these devs like Crystal Dynamics, they're not transparent, but then it's like, well, they did a 30-minute stream kind of telling us about what's going on in the marketplace next week, with the matching outfits. Phil literally explained how patches work in the game and how they're scheduled. So it's like if they fix one thing, it'll be fixed, but it might not come out that patch. It might come out 2 patches later because that one thing they fixed might have to do with like something else that is like coming out later. Like he explained it way better than I did, but it made sense to where it's like a fucking puzzle, man. It seems like if you take one thing out, it messes something else up. You put one thing in, it fixes or messes another thing up. Like in my last video I made about the roadmap where it was like, yo, fuck yeah, this whole update is happening, but there's going to be bugs. We got the Hawkeye combat bugs, you know what I'm saying? We got some of this, some of here or whatever. But, and they straight up admitted also, they were like, we fucked up on on the Maestro villain sectors. They were like, that is our goof. They straight up said that, and I guarantee nobody will say that. I guarantee nobody will talk about that, and like, Yeah, he was like, we fucked that up. And I know we said that we weren't going to like do anything. And then we kind of turned around and did it. He was like, but, we are like trying to fix it. So it's like, there is respect in that regard, I believe. You know what I mean? Like, I truly feel, like, plus, you gotta get on the human level. You know what I mean? Where it's like, all right, guys, I mean, by now I think everybody knows that this game is kind of like, it's going to be a rough patch for a little bit. It's going to be hard. You got those enthusiasts like us who like play it constantly. You know what I'm saying? Even when we got like critiques and, critical thoughts about it where it doesn't like raise up to our standard or whatever. But I do think overall we're getting a little bit of transparency that kind of goes a long way. You know what I'm saying? That dev stream actually today had about 2,000 views afterwards. And yeah, that's what I said. So I was like, cool, man. Yeah. So like people are interested, and I think the more people that get interested, the more that this game will kind of flourish into what it was supposed to be. If you've noticed that their Twitter has been super active lately, which I appreciate because I like, looking on my phone and being like, yo, this is cool. Next week. Okay. Or like, all right, cool. Like little Hawkeye. I know about it. Whatever, but it is cool to see them active or whatnot. But
Yeah.
you guys got anything else to say on that one?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Carlos.
I got two things. One thing is touching on the transparent thing. And I think the devs are pretty transparent. I just think that, and this is going to touch on the second thing I want to talk about. I just think that even though they are transparent, there had been a period after Kate's release where they kind of went silent. So like, even though they are transparent, sometimes they're not communicating all that frequently. But ever since the Hawkeye expansion, or I guess I should call it, what should I call it? Because Black Panther, they made
DLC.
yeah,
DLC.
okay. Yeah, so ever since the Hawkeye DLC got its date, and everything leading up to the Hawkeye release and everything since Hawkeye's release, they've been very communicative lately. And the roadmap and everything, all of these things, it feels like the game is like coming back to life again, which for me is very exciting. I was talking to Mike. I was talking with Mike about this before we started recording, where I was like, I'm so glad it feels alive again. And I'm glad you're pulling up the roadmap because it feels more consistent. I've always thought they were transparent, but for a while there, they were pretty inconsistent and pretty quiet for a while, and that was kind of a bummer. But I feel like things are picking up fairly positively. I'm pretty excited about it.
Well, I'm gonna just say this about the devs, man. I feel sorry for Andy and Phil. I really, really do, because you can tell that they want to just spill their guts, dude. They want to talk. Yeah. They want to be transparent, but whoever the Avengers guys are making that not happen, and it sucks to be them because they get a lot of crap. They get a lot of heat, dude, and I mean, there's really nothing they can do. They can only tell us what they're allowed to tell us. So I'm not going. I mean, that 3-month period of silence, though. Mike, you remember, bro? I was almost done, dude.
yeah, you were, and it surprised me. You were, and it surprised me a lot. I was like, damn, even this dude, even Doom. Carlos, you had something to say? What's up, brother?
Sorry, I just got really excited because I'm looking at this roadmap that I think is super cool. Now I'm going to ask you guys, have either of you gone back and done New Game Plus? Because we can do that now. We can do Reassemble.
Multiplayer?
Actually, I haven't tried that either.
Okay, that's interesting, but I have not yet, Carlos. I want to. I kind of like want to stream it at least because like there are just good moments in that campaign, man, that I love a lot. I would love to like tell my inner dialogue on, but
and like I want to replay it with all my new costumes and like imagine my 150 like my whole squad of like 150 level characters against MODOK, bro. It's like I want to, because I remember when I first played through the campaign, that MODOK mission, like the fight itself with MODOK isn't like the hardest thing in the world, but getting to MODOK with all those attack points everywhere, I remember like actually kind of struggling when I first played through the campaign, like to do that. And now I'm like, man, I got 150 cap with pin particles on the shield. Like, I'm gonna destroy this mission. Like when I get
Yeah.
um,
Hell yeah, bro.
I don't think people bring it up, but like that was part of the Future Imperfect expansion was the reassemble New Game Plus edition, and I think that's pretty
Oh, okay.
cool, you know.
Yeah, I
Well,
definitely
I'm in.
appreciate.
I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead, buddy.
No, go ahead, dude. Go ahead, dude.
No, I was just gonna say I'm in the same boat as Mike is. I have not started it yet or redone it yet. I'm waiting to stream that because there are some sick little moments in there, that you want to like. I can't even remember half of the campaign, dude. You know what I mean? But I can remember certain moments from that campaign that I want to redo. So that's where I'm at with it. I think I'm waiting just to live stream it. As soon as my setup is finished being set up, I'm gonna be live streaming that thing.
I think that's a great idea, Doom. I would love to hear your inner dialogue because there are moments that, like, one thing why I like the MCU is like they pull out these moments where it's like, ooh, I got you, bro. I feel this or whatever. And they had those in the game. And I was like, Kamala, like, one thing, the whole Cap, like, scene when, in the middle of the game or whatever. Yeah, it was
Right.
just good shit. Yeah, I really like the Reassemble campaign. And because I haven't been able to play it, I can't, like, hype on it. But I just remember I had a good time with it. I was new to the game. It
Right.
wasn't what I expected, but I was like, let's roll through the punches here. Like, okay. And then you get to that Iron Man going to up, and away. You know what I mean? You're like, okay, this is cool. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I really like that. So let's go on to the roadmap real quick, guys. The Cosmic Cube, I love that. That's story shit right there. The MCU outfits Phil mentioned today in the stream. He was like, don't worry about the word inspired because they said they're like inspired by the MCU, and I guess fans were like, oh shit, is it going to be some knockoff stuff? And Phil was like, you won't be disappointed, trust me. Like, I was like,
My
all
only
right.
question about that is are they using the same face models, or are they literally gonna get the face models from the MCU? Or are we gonna have Chris
I don't
Evans
know.
as Cap, or
No, I think
shit?
that'll be like those royalty copyright problems. I think that'll just be the clothes. That's what I think personally.
Okay. See, I don't see. The Captain America that we play with isn't the same Captain America as from the MCU. So will his clothes even look cool on him? That's just
Right.
questions I
Yeah.
have.
That's a good point. Yeah, I feel you. I see you. Like, yeah,
You
does it
feel me?
match? Yeah, I feel you. Speaking
They
of, you
got two
guys watch
different body types.
Falcon Winter Soldier episode 2?
I did. I loved
Yes.
it.
Woo! Whole other conversation. Let's let's stay focused here. Yeah, it was good.
No,
Okay, so
bro.
Tachyon Anonymously, do y'all want to go over most of this stuff, or do y'all want to kind of skip to the latter half, summer and beyond, and maybe talk about some of these dates a little bit before we close it off? We're about 50 minutes in. If you guys got the time, I'm so down. If you
I'm
want to,
down.
like,
I'm down to stay longer. I do want
okay,
to.
cool.
I do want to touch a second on the spring stuff, and
Let's
that's
do it. Carlos, lead it off, baby.
the main thing I want to say here is just I think we're basically in spring now, like just about
Yeah.
like it's like how soon. My question with the spring stuff is how soon can we expect it, right? Because like summer's not even that far away. So like how soon are we getting Tachyon Anomaly? How soon are we getting Red Room? And how like distant from each other will it be? That's like those are my big questions right now. But the fact that we're getting those two big content drops, I mean, I know they're not huge, but it's like we're getting these additions, to hold us over until like the summer content, which I really want to talk about. Um, but I think that's cool to keep things moving, keep things like being updated and added like on a fairly regular basis. I think that's really important for the game. I think that's really exciting. So I do appreciate Tachyon Anomaly and Red Room Takeover. I just want to know, like, are we going to get dates for these? Are they going to be surprises? like, because
Well, I know Phil said that the date for the Red Room isn't changing, even though the Black Widow movie's changing.
yeah,
So to me, that's
Oh, okay.
saying that they have a date internally that they're gonna drop it on. We don't know that date, but that's actually good news because that means that the Tachyons anomaly is pretty much set in stone as well. So that hopefully will drop within the next couple of patches, which we definitely have a patch coming next week. So
yeah.
So I am aware Andy did. He was like kind of mentioning, he was like, the next week's patch will be small. But then whenever he got into, he was like, I don't have any big leaks yet. But he was like, stand by, because he was like, we want to release big leaks on our socials. You know what I'm saying? Because it makes sense. Yeah, you don't want to like spill the beans on a stream or whatever, unless if that stream is solely for that leak or solely for that piece of information. So anyways, he was like, stand by in a couple weeks, for our social accounts. And I was like, okay, a couple weeks, April, like potentially, like, I don't know, he said, he did say a couple of weeks, you know what I mean? Maybe that'll be for like announcing, like just announcements and maybe not releases, but let's on the far end, at the end of April, let's see if there's any word. You know what I mean? Because you gotta understand. Because this is at least how I'm judging things, just from evidence. Okay, how has it been going, and has it changed since? And has it changed enough to where you could see that continuous change throughout? So like rampant production, these constant updates or whatever, like we're talking about, you know what I mean? So if I'm judging based off of past evidence, even at the end of April is optimistic, I would say. And I don't want to be like, doom and gloom or whatever, but at the end of April, I would not be surprised if we didn't hear anything big in April. What do you guys think?
Middle of April, bro. That's what I'm shooting for, and I'm hoping that's not any inside information. Um, it just seems like they gotta get the patchwork done now. That's why they're putting out the new patch next week, the small patch. They're trying to get that stuff done, the little bugs, the little shit that's fucking with us,
I got you.
And
Yeah.
and I think they're ready. You know what I mean? I think these guys, they're on the level where they can drop shit when they want to drop shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you said,
Oh,
every time
cool.
they fix something, something else is going to break. That's just the law of the land,
Yes.
right?
Right.
So when they fix that, they're gonna drop what they can. They're ready, dude. Like I said, there's already so much content that's done. These little aesthetic things, like the tachyon anomaly, where you just literally running around the tachyon storm playing as 4 Iron Man, 4 Hulks, whatever, 2 Caps, 2 Kates, whatever. You know what I mean? That's aesthetics. That's not changing the game. Go ahead, Carlos.
I also want to say, as you can see on the roadmap, it says additional content and features, Omega level threats, blah, 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 and the post level 50 progression. I'm hoping that stuff comes in the spring before summer. Like, I'm hoping the Omega level cloning labs, for example, I'm really hoping that comes sooner rather than later. I know Phil has talked about like little bugs with cloning labs and things. So like, I mean, I get it, but the fact that we've been waiting for cloning labs for so long, I would like that to come before Cosmic Cube at least.
I'm with you. I'm with you
Yeah.
on that, Carlos. Yeah.
And looking at how far
Get in there.
we are, yeah, and looking how far we are from June, I'm assuming Cosmic Cube in June because that's when summer begins at least. Looking how far away we are from that, I'm hoping maybe Tachyon Anomaly April, Red Room in May, and Cloning Labs somewhere in between or around there. That's like my ideal way of how it would work. But those are my expectations right now.
I would probably say they're gonna drop one of those things with the Red Room. Maybe the Omega level thread or the cloning labs or something like that, just to give
Dude,
you
you got
something
fucking
else.
shit, dude.
Dude, it's marketing. I mean, it's
Makes
not rocket
sense,
science.
dude.
It's marketing, dude. Okay, the
Right.
Red Room is cool. You've got all of this Black Widow hype. You're gonna get players to come back. Give them something else to do, and that's what they're gonna do. I'm hoping. That's just. I mean, my marketing brain is running right now.
Yeah.
That's what I would do if I
Okay.
had, something like fucking cloning labs in my back pocket, and I'm not gonna give you that with the anomalies. I'm gonna let the anomalies be the anomalies, just like the tachyon riffs were just the tachyon riffs. And then with something like the Red Room, where it's kind of mostly an aesthetic change, maybe a little bit of story to it because they're bringing Yelena in, so they'll give you a little bit of
Yeah.
story to it. Why not throw them in there? You know what I mean? Just to give people something else to do, because that story is not. It's probably going to be as short as Clint's.
Yeah,
You know,
quick. Yeah.
so give them something else to do. That's what I would do. That's just my brain going, dude.
I'm
I'm
tracking on
sorry.
that. I like that. I'm tracking on that. I'm tracking on that. What's up,
Uh,
Carlos?
in addition to cloning labs, and maybe they will drop it in when Red Room comes, like you said, Doom. I hope that's the case. I'm waiting for that MODOK villain sector. I want to be able to replay that fight like whenever. That's like the best fight in the game, I think, and I want to do it.
To me, Carlos, sorry to cut you off, but like I talk about cloning labs and Omega level threats like every single video I make because I believe that that is that end game content that you want to run with your friends, that you want to like, hey, y'all want to run that hard ass mission, or do y'all just want to mess around a little bit and then we'll end the night with that hard ass mission or whatever, like cloning labs, or yo, cloning labs this weekend, guys, you down? Yo, hit me up. That's what starts that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that was a good run. Y'all want to run it again? Oh, all right, cool. Now we're in. All right, let's break off. Let's go do that MODOK, villain sector, because that's fun. Like, oh, tonight you could do a boss
talking
rush.
about implementing the Mega Hive as multiplayer now. So like that.
That's money, dude. Because those mega hives, I like find myself that because I do kind of say like, oh, give me it. I want it so difficult, you know what I mean, or whatever. But I do find like if you're not paying attention, like if you're just trying to steamroll through it, like you might get whooped, and I'm like, okay, I like that, you know what I'm saying? But the feeling of having 150, 4 players at 150 going toe to toe every level. Whoa, this is crazy. Those types of feelings while you're playing, we're like, man, I am barely hanging on by a thread, like pop that Hawkeye, heal. You want that interaction where it's like that teamwork where it's like, dude, pop it. I need it right now. Like, okay, unload your critical damage and stuff like that. That is what, to me, that is what I know of endgame content to be in like Destiny, The Division. It's like, kind of over the top difficult, but that's good because you got your friends to cheese the fuck out of your specials or ultimates. Like everybody hit them at once. Boom. Done. Kind of like, make those boss battles engaging, like how MODOK, you gotta like go in the back of him, hit the thing, and he spins, so everybody has to jump. And it's like if your buddies aren't that skilled at the game or timing jumps or whatever, like that causes a problem because it's like a thing that could take out your entire enemy or your entire strike team. It's that one hit KO, like watch out, it's that move. Everybody get in that mindset where it's like you got to defend yourself. Go ahead, Carlos.
Okay, now that we're talking about villain sectors, I have a lot to say here, and I want this to lead into Cosmic Cube.
Let's do it.
But here's the thing: I really loved a lot of the boss fights in the campaign, and 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 I really like the Warbot and the Warbird. I
like those two.
They're engaging. They make me do different things and stuff. I was pretty disappointed by Super Adaptoid when the Kate expansion came out. I loved pretty much everything else about that expansion, so I don't really like bring it up all the time. But I was disappointed by how easy Super Adaptoid was. There wasn't like a stage to him. He was just there, and you beat him up, and it's over. And I was really hoping when I heard that Super Adaptoid was going to be in it and like saw him in the trailers, I was like, this is going to be the villain sector that like gets me hyped again. It's going to have stages. It's going to be hard as hell. And it wasn't quite that for me, And then I played Future Imperfect, and Maestro was difficult because that dude attacks you like nonstop. I was like, okay, like he's got some moves that are cool, but even then, he doesn't have like the stages, the boss stages. I think that's important. Like when you fight MODOK, it's like first you got to destroy his thrusters, then you have to destroy his like machine arms. When you fight the Warbots, it's like you got to take out the turrets and you got to take out its shields. And then that stuff I feel is so necessary, right? For like big scale battles. And that's what the Avengers are for. So like I'm really excited about the Cosmic Cube because number one, comics nerd, I like the Cosmic Cube. I think that's awesome. I hope, oh my god, imagine if we like defeat Monica with the cube and then we get the major artifact of the cube, bro. Holy shit. Like
Ooh.
like I think that'd be sick. But beyond that, I want it to be a freaking badass villain sector. Like I want it to like, you take out her entire health bar and then she's like, nah, I have another health bar. And in this health bar, I have a stage where I attack you this way. And I'm like, okay, shit. Like I want this to be a battle that I can't one shot. Like even if you have I want this to be a battle where even if you have a one shot build, you have to do that 3 times.
Yeah, I got you.
Yo, speaking of one shot builds and cosmic cubes and things like that, bro, I I hope, I really, 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 really hope that they make like you were saying, they make the villains to where you cannot one shot them no more. Go give us those 165 plus villains, man, because those one shot builds to me are wrecking the game, dude. You get in the game, a quick match with a kid who thinks he's Lejeune, and you're picking him up off the damn floor, and when you finish the match, you've only got 65% because he's died 18 times because he has no resolve, no resilience, but his fucking valor is 15,000. You know what I'm saying, bro?
That's low key me though. No. Okay, so that's interesting because I think that the ability to be able to one shot people is cool because it motivates players to be like, I want to be the guy that can be the powerhouse, and it motivates them to create the builds. I think that's cool. So I'm cool with being able to one shot most things, but I do want to have certain enemies at least where like or mission types where it's not just about one-shotting, it's also about teamwork and stuff like that. And that's why I'm excited for Cloning Labs, and I'm excited for
Yes.
potentially the Cosmic Cube fight where, maybe she has multiple life bars and you have to like one-shot all of the life bars or something, Like, I want there to be some more strategy. Oh, and this actually, real quick, back when we were talking about Hawkeye and I was talking about the pulsar arrow, I liked the pulsar arrow a lot because I could use it strategically where I would plant like 5 pulsar arrows on an adaptoid, wait for them to charge while on him, and then blow them all up at once and one shot that adaptoid. Random little
Yeah,
thing there.
that's awesome, Carlos.
But like strategies are key to me. Like I like games that make me want to strategize. So I'm hoping going forward, going with Cloning Labs, going with the Cosmic Cube villain sector, that it's not just about beating them up. It's like about beating them up a certain way, stuff like that, So
Well, that's what I think the Omega level threats are. I think that they are the bosses, so where you're fighting the legs of the boss and or arms next, and then you got to take out the chest armor and shit like that. That's what I think the Omega level threats are, and that's why we don't have them because that's more connection issues. So hopefully we move past that with the next gen and can get some of that shit in here, man. Moving on to Wastelands, though, man. Wasteland Patrols, fellas.
Yeah, for me, Carlos, I'm all about that strategy shit. But for me, Wasteland Patrols, I think it's one of those like it's gots to be. You know what I mean? It's like that destiny, it's that grind, it's that I don't want to do missions exactly, but I want to
But I want to
just kind of hang out with my boys or my strike team and roam around, beat the shit out of bad guys, wait around for a few minutes, wait until, Abomination spawns or whatever, beat him up and kind of just keep that going, depending on the rewards. You know what I'm saying? Like, depending on how they move that in, you know what I mean? It could be one of those things where it's like, that's a good little end game type of thing. You unlock patrols. And you can kind of, if you're in there for 2 hours, by 2 hour point, you have ran through Taskmaster, Abomination, the big mechs or whatever, because they spawn, this boss spawns every 15 minutes. This boss spawns every 5 minutes over here, or whatever the case is. The wastelands are big enough. The biome is big enough. everything about it screams like they almost did think about it before. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be a good addition. Doom, what's up?
Question on how you think the wastelands will operate. Do you think that it's going to be more DCUO where it's just everybody in there who wants to be in there, or strike team AI centric style combat where it's just you and your three people or whatever?
That's how I imagine it, just because I feel like that would be the easiest way to implement it. Like, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
just your best strike team with your buddies that you got, and then y'all could just stay in this biome for an unlimited amount of time because we spawn in enemies completely. Now, if they went the
gotcha.
other direction, where which is the patrol thing, Doom, you should go on Reddit and get that thread because Phil, he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna make an official like patrol thread, and you guys can
Oh,
throw ideas in there, and we'll go over that page to get inspired or to even just take your fucking ideas, basically." Which kind of leads on
okay.
to my like what I was telling, like, oh, were they ready for this? Yeah. So,
Got you,
anyways,
got you.
so it's like one of those things where it's like it could go either way. You know what I'm saying? Where you could have just like eight, like two different teams, like, oh shit, it's that one team, all right, see you guys.
Yeah,
Like Destiny, where it's like a hub world or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If they could pull that off, because if they could pull off, I don't know if Tachyon Anomaly or if that kind of connects somehow or some way with Patrol, like it could in a sense. You know what I mean? Where you can get
yeah.
like more players on the field. Especially if Cloning Labs is that more than four people?
No, Clone Labs is just four,
Okay. Okay.
but we're
Okay.
hoping that the Wakanda
Right.
expansion is eight. Is what we're hoping, not
Okay,
wanting.
so okay, just to add on to this, I've seen other people talk about like with Wakanda and the raid and stuff. Division 2 and Destiny, I know for a fact in their raids, you can only play Division 2 through the story and all the other shit with 4 players. When you do the raid, it goes to 8 players. In
Right,
Destiny, you only play with like a 4-man team or whatever it
three
is,
man
3 man.
team. Yeah,
Yeah, and then in the raid it goes to like 6 players. So
right.
that is like I can see that just because it emulates what other games have done. And that's why I kind of do believe that. You know what I mean?
I
It's
think that's
potential.
yeah, I think that's something that they've talked about. I think they've talked about like expanding how many players per strike team for like bigger missions like Omega level and raids. I think they've talked about that. One thing for sure that they talked about recently was being able to play with no AI and no
Oh
companion,
yeah.
just use single player. And when you bring that up and you think about patrol, that's interesting. Patrolling just one character on your own and then anyone can drop in whenever. That's interesting. I think
Drop in, drop out, baby.
yeah, I think most likely though, I think most likely patrol will be a strike team thing.
Hmm.
Um, and I also think Tachyon Anomaly. I'm currently thinking Tachyon Anomaly will be like certain missions that allow it, not like every mission.
Same.
And I don't know, like, I kind of like that. I don't know, because again, Mike, you know me, I'm like very like, I like things to match and like feel like in the world.
Yes. Like
Um,
you're role playing almost.
yeah, I like that like nerdy shit, but
Yes, me too.
uh, but I understand people want to play with like multiplier man and stuff, so like that's cool. That's cool. That's being added. But we'll see how it's all executed. I just know one thing is being able to patrol Wakanda, however it looks, is gonna be like such a dream come true, bro. Holy cow! Can you imagine patrolling like Wakanda as Black Panther, bro? Oh my god! Like I
Yeah.
that's so bad. Oh man.
Let's talk about Wakanda. Let's kind of wrap it up here on Wakanda. Just for shits and gigs. One thing that I want to know. This is like the main question. No doubt about it. I don't really give a shit about anything else. Enemies, bosses. I just don't care. What I care about is this: predictions to on release date. What do y'all think? It says and summer and beyond. Summer is from June to September. And that's that I googled that. That is like due to the solar, schedule of the stars or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
You know what
September
I mean?
29, right? The
I don't know.
last
I
day
just
of
it just
summer,
said
September
September.
29th. But
Yeah, I don't know. It just said September, so I was like, okay,
dude,
so that would be
I'm gonna
and
just say
beyond,
this: how many times have we heard "soon"
dude.
from the devs? You know, so with Black Panther, bro. Even though he's done, like you guys said, there are tweaks and things that they probably are working on. I mean, but like, I mean, that could be literal December before we get Black Panther. I mean, I'm not even, dude.
Right,
It
like
could be
that's a
December, dude.
possibility for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it might not even happen this year. They didn't say, they say and beyond. They didn't say and beyond in 2021. They say and beyond, bro. So that's
Don't say that, man. Don't
I'm
say.
just, dude. We gonna keep it 100, man. We not gonna BS. We gonna keep it 100, and that's a fact. There's no date on that at all, dude. Everything is like, okay, we're gonna give you
Ah,
this in spring.
no, 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 no. It says 2021 content roadmap. Okay, there's 2021 at the top of that image.
Yeah,
Better
that's a
come.
roadmap. That's the roadmap for 2021. But it clearly says and beyond right under that, though.
And don't forget at the bottom to the left there, it says this roadmap may change and does not include all in progress work.
I
Okay.
think that's a reference to Spider-Man. I feel like that's a clear Spider-Man.
Yes, exactly. That's like a whole unseen like thing that's happening on this roadmap too. You know what I mean? Like I think okay, hang tight, hang tight. I do think for Wakanda at least, I'll get back to Spider-Man, but I do think Wakanda at the latest, December 31st, 2021 at the latest. All
Yeah.
right. At the earliest, and I'm talking super happy, like, I don't know anything else or whatever. At the earliest, August, July, maybe I
July,
could
July,
say. I
July.
mean, but then I think about Spider Man, though, Carlos, and it's like, wouldn't you want to slate out a summertime for Spider Man? Like, I don't know. For me, Spider Man kind of gives off summer vibes. I don't know what it is exactly, but it's kind of one of those things. Like, you want to slate in, because say if Spider Man came after Red Room and before Cosmic Cube, who gives a fuck when Black Panther comes out? But
Shit,
if
I
Cosmic
still do.
Cubes comes out, right, right. I mean, no, I do too. I do too. But like, you're not going to think about that at the time. You know what I'm saying?
No, I hear you.
Right,
Well,
right. So it's like
look at
if
this though,
Cosmic
Mike.
Cube is looking July, August is still very applicable to Cosmic Cube, I do believe. July, August area. That's still meet a summertime. It's hot as fuck during August, at least over here. You know what I mean? But anyways, like, unfortunately, I bet the Xbox players, like, my feelings go out towards them. That sucks. You know what I'm saying? To only be looking forward to Black Panther. But whereas PlayStation players, we're like, but we got Spider-Man somewhere in between all this stuff. So
Yeah,
that's good.
that's
Go ahead. What you guys think about that? Wakanda, Spider-Man, like in the mix. What do y'all think?
I want to talk about Spider-Man super quick because you brought up the Xbox players, and this has been something. I know I haven't made a video in a while, but I did plan on making a video at one point talking about Spider-Man again, as I usually do.
Yeah, I
Um,
love those Spider-Man.
Oh, thank you. But I was gonna say, I feel like to avoid, because when Spider-Man comes out, you're gonna get backlash from the Xbox community. So I've been thinking for a while that I think when you drop Spider-Man, I feel like you need to drop Spider-Man with some additional content that goes out for everyone to enjoy, so that even the Xbox players get something when Spider-Man comes out that they can play. So tying it to something else on here, like Cosmic Cube, maybe I think would be great. Maybe even tying it with Wakanda or something would be great.
Mm-hmm.
For a while
Okay.
in my brain, I was gonna make a video about this, but um, in the game, we have this iconic mission with Thor where Loki is involved, and where has that been? Because that didn't get expanded upon in Kate or in Hawkeye's expansions. So what's going on with that Loki plot line? And in my brain, I was thinking, what if when they drop Spider-Man, they drop like an Asgard related thing with Loki as well, so that both PlayStation and Xbox can fight Loki, but PlayStation can fight Loki as Spider-Man, something like
Gotcha.
that. And my brain went there because I'd been reading some Thor comics with Spider-Man, and I like when Thor and Spider-Man team up because they're so different. Because Spider-Man is like this like realistic, grounded character who has a ton of flaws, and Thor is like a god. So when they team up, I like their interactions. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool if in the Avengers game, like the Thor iconic mission continues in the Spider-Man story somehow? That way, the Xbox fans can be happy, and also we can play as Spider-Man, stuff like that. I don't know, but I think they need to be careful with the Spider-Man release. That's all I'm gonna say.
True that.
Not to jump off of Spider-Man because that's my guy too. I love Peter Parker and Miles Morales, but we were talking about the release date for Wakanda and when we think it was gonna happen. And Mike was saying like sometime, December 31st, latest, July, August, earliest, right? But we can't even really speculate on that until they drop tachyon anomalies, because then we'll know the time frame that they're actually looking for, because they got all the stuff
Baseline.
They have. I mean, I think they're going back to their offices pretty soon too, so they'll be able to put out the content that they want when they want to at this time. So like you said earlier, something they fix something else is gonna break. We're about to get the fix for what was broken with Hawkeye right now. This next week coming. So if they decide to drop the tachyon anomaly the week after that, and then say they drop Red Room still in April as well, then yeah, we definitely getting Black Panther by August. But
All right.
You tracking what I'm saying?
I do. Let me spin some stuff for you. Okay, so even if even if the optimistic side doesn't happen, let me just lay it out real quick. So what April's about to hit? So April, May, June, July, August. All right, hypothetical. You know what I'm saying? And if they did release a month, I mean, that's just good. That's just good for the game. Hey, you're getting content drop a month. Plus, you got peppered in all this Omega level threat, cloning labs, MCU skins. They got shit to hype up the game, right. But those dates, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, Doom, I'm definitely tracking on what you're saying. They could definitely get steamrolling here in these next few months,
Right. If like I'm saying, the longest when they fix something, they can, and it breaks, they can come right back. Like, this is going to only be a week's time when they drop the fix for this patch that's going on. That's one of the fastest patches for some shit ever at this point. So see, things are speeding up with them. You know what I'm saying? That's because it's a good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing.
Because they finally finished all that kind of they worked on the game, they released it, they had to go back and clean it up, and then now they're on track, you know what I'm saying?
They're on track. You're tracking me.
Exactly. And I do feel like that's a good outcome. One thing a month, if it happens like that, you don't think that'll happen, Jim?
No, I think it could happen. But I think that they're still going to space it out. They're not just going to be like, okay, because they don't have anything after Black Panther if they don't drop Spider-Man before him.
Right. Okay.
I'm not gonna say they don't have anything. They don't have anything announced or that we know that's been worked on. Because I know that they said they weren't working on Captain Marvel right now. That they were going to drop somebody smaller, like what was it? What was it? The Winter Soldier. They already have dialogue for him already.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So they might give you something little like that, or maybe even drop, like Carlos was saying, drop double heroes at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But they're gonna spread it out. I'm saying maybe a month and a half per drop. Like some drops might come, like a month, then the next month you might get another drop. Then after that it'll be a month and a half, 2 months at the max. You know what I mean? If they have the ball rolling the way I think they have it rolling in my brain.
Right, and if you think about it, a month ain't shit for these fans. We've waited 3 for Kate, 3 for Clint. You know what I mean? So to be like, oh, only a month? Hell yeah, dude, man, you conditioned us to time ain't nothing, bro. Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Bad. I was telling Carlos before you got on, Doom. I was like, to be a fan of this game is tough. You know what I mean? Like, especially if you critically think about it, you know what I'm saying? Because this game is not perfect by any means. It does a lot of good stuff. You know, there are some fuck ups where it's like, what the fuck? You know, where you really kind of like question like the game's integrity. I don't know exactly how to put it, you know, where you're just like, y'all didn't think about this? Like unfinishedness, you know, we're getting in the realm of that type of vocabulary, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. I mean, in the end, it will lead to nowhere because they will not tell us. They're not going to be like, oh, you know what? Unless if it's like 10 years later, you know, like, oh yeah, Marvel Avengers 1, like, we fucked that up. You know what I mean? They're not going to say that, but you know what I mean? So
They're
it's, but
tracking
anyways,
right now, though. They're tracking, man.
yeah,
They're picking up the pace and the ball. So I mean, they fumbled a lot. I mean, like you said, it's
right.
hard to be like, yeah, I actually like Marvel's Avengers a lot. You know what I mean? It's for, especially for us that do YouTube. You know, but I got to give them their kudos, man. That the DLC as a whole, if you include, you know, everything that's so awesome about Clint, I gotta say, out of 5, I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna say 3.5 as a whole, including Clint and everything,
Okay.
because dude, I mean, the wasteland by itself, that area with the secret caves and stuff like that, that's an awesome aesthetic. Clint by himself, dude, that's like I said, I'm probably about to main this guy, dude. Hulk, Maestro Hulk was cool. I mean, the story was cool. It wasn't great, but when you average it out with what the Wastelands is going to be, not just what it is now, but what it's going to be, and the way that they made Clinton, you can see how intricate each character can become and what's going to become after that. Like, just think about how they're going to make Captain Marvel, dude. Just think about the, you know, not ask. Go ahead, Carlos. Go.
I just want to talk about, we're talking about Doom. You're starting to talk about the character variety again, which has always been one of the most impressive things about the game. But they just added a feature, bro. The fucking Hank Pym summon, man. Holy shit.
God!
I don't even know about it. I don't even know about it.
It's because you can't finish the damn. You gotta finish the. Oh,
Yeah,
bro,
That
like,
is one of those things. That is like, that's exactly falls under one of those things like, what the fuck happened there, guys?
Yeah, what
you
happened
know?
to Maestro Villain Sector's devs? But on the other hand, thank you for the fucking summon. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's a cool
That
thing,
is
Carlos.
dope. That
So,
is
do you
dope,
guys
dude.
know what it does?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah,
Alright, spit it, spill it.
You literally summon Hank Pym. He comes out with his Pym particle gun and literally starts blasting the hell out of shit, dude. It's so
Multiple
awesome.
enemies?
Multiple enemies, bro. He stays out there for like the duration of a Jarvis barrier, which is like a full minute.
Wow, like
So
30 seconds. Yeah, okay.
No, not 30 seconds, a full minute. Jarvis
A
barrier is a
minute.
full minute, bro. Yeah.
He basically becomes another member of your strike team and for like a minute there, and
Running around and shit.
yeah, like running around and following you guys
Blasting
and blasting enemies. And that just opens up so many fucking possibilities. Like, that's so exciting.
I literally
You don't-
kind of got goosebumps, not gonna lie.
You don't
'Cause
have to
I-
add playable characters at this point. You can add helper characters.
Add
like
helper
that, dude.
characters. That is exciting.
Bro,
Oh,
you don't.
I
You don't need
see.
to add
Yeah.
Miles Morales. You can have
Right.
him as a helper come in and Venom shot somebody for Spider-Man real quick
Oh,
and get the fuck
shit.
back out, bro.
Yeah, like all right, we're getting too hype. It's too late for me to get that hype.
Man, that's
So
something that they can implement.
My
So
Spider-Man
to-
opinions will annoy too many people. But the point is, helper characters are such a good idea because my brain immediately goes to like Nick Fury, fucking Roy,
Yeah.
the robot.
Dum Dugan. He's in the game.
Exactly. Yeah,
Jimmy
he's on
Woo's
that
in
seat.
the game.
Yes,
All
dude.
these shield level agents, all these like hub world people, they could easily become summons, and stuff like that is exciting, And I don't know if you guys. I don't know if you guys.
Summon that Inhuman that does the teleporting. What's his name?
Oh yes, yeah,
I want to
yeah.
summon him, dude. Like,
That would be
teleport
fun.
these dude. Teleport.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
The fire guy.
It's like instant kill, basically. Like, yeah, these 3 dudes in front of him is like, whoop, pop out. To hit on what you were saying, Carlos, about the cosmic cube thing. So in that footage, it shows Monica like blasting like a Kamehameha wave or like some type of energy, like an energy source. And I was like thinking too in my head, like Captain Marvel. Like you could, what if the cosmic cube is a L3R3 and it's just like one straight beam of energy, like like a better version
like
of Iron Man's Unibeam or something like that.
God.
Yeah, and you're like holding it, like that'd be sick, bro.
I really
I would
that.
say I would like it to freeze time like it did for them in the
Oh
Imperfect.
yeah,
You freeze the entire like bro.
like it's like a time bubble, and then you could just like beat the shit out of all the dudes.
Time bubble in Outriders, how he like the
exactly,
thing.
and then when it goes away, they just like all fall down or whatever. Like that'd be so sick.
Yeah, I really want the cosmic cube to be a major artifact, but now I really want it to have that perk that you guys just suggested. That sounds like a sweet perk, man. That'd be sweet.
Well, all right,
That would be
fellas.
cool. Oh,
I was
is it
thinking
time?
we've been here about an hour and a half. You know, I think that's a good chunk of time, you know, and I know that there's like just so much more we can talk about and discuss. You know what I'm saying? And I think we should, you know, let's save that for the next week. Me and Doom, we're kind of working on a little something here in the future. Yeah, but I was just thinking about ending it right there, guys. Like, what do you think? You got anything closing off to say?
That's cool, dude. I mean, laissez les bon temps rouler, which means let the good times roll. Peace out.
Oh yeah. Carlos, got anything? Ending comments or anything? Maybe any comic book issues you want to tell people?
Oh, I mean, if I can plug comic books.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Plug anything. Plug yourself. Do it.
Well, I'm just going to plug some great books I've read lately. Freaking Nonstop Spider-Man is a new series that just came out like a week or two ago. And it's like the most refreshing, exciting Spider-Man book I've read in like years. I'm so excited about this series. So, you know, if you guys are comic book readers, I would recommend that. I would recommend reading Al Ewing's Guardians of the Galaxy series is going really well.
Cool.
But plugging me, I mean, you know, not really, you know, I don't have to plug myself. I'm Carlos. I'm just having a fun time. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Initiative, if you want to. If you don't, I understand. But yeah, I'm just excited to talk to you guys again in the future. This has been fun. And I'm excited for the future of this game. So that's all I have.
Hell yeah. Nice, Carlos. All right, Doom. All right, guys, thank you for joining. If you watched it all the way and you got to the hour and a half, awesome. Thank you for the support. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to start kind of streaming a little bit more, hopefully keeping up, because it's almost hard to keep up with this game in a sense, unless if you're like on it, you know what I'm saying? I know you know what I mean, dude. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I'm Machine Gun Mike, out.